Yes? Hey boys and girls, glad you're here. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, so happy to have you guys with us today. Today's really exciting. We have a medical panel here. It's really interesting folks. I'm really enjoying spending some time with these folks. And what we're going to do is we talk about how we can incorporate CBD into a medical practice and different ways that we can utilize that. So we're real excited. I want to introduce everybody first. All right, up first, Dr. Swathi, she's with us. She's a bilingual pharmacist specializing in integrative health and cannabis. She serves as a medical cannabis expert, a natural medicines educator, a clinical researcher, a TV host, multimedia scientific contributor, and she's passionate about educating the consumers on the power of plants as medicine. So it's interesting. I was talking to all four of us, and all four of us like cut from the same cloth, I think, right? Which is kind of cool. Charlie Piermarini, he's a physician's assistant. I want him in my practice. I offer him a job. He won't work with me. He's from Phoenix, Arizona, where he practices pain management. He likes to combine Eastern and Western medicine and give his patients the best options for care. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. I'm the only guy from Atlanta here, apparently. I've been in practice 37 years. I'm board certified in chiropractic. I'm also board certified in orthopedics, pain management, double board certified in nutrition, BS in nutrition, retired dietitian, award-winning author, and and certified in traumatic brain injuries. I host the largest health and wellness radio show in the world, based right here at WSB Radio in Atlanta. So I've got a couple of miles under my belt there. And then Dr. Thomas Lucky, he's a proponent of CBD, and he's seen firsthand multiple benefits that he provides his patient. He's got some real interesting things to talk about as well. So let's welcome all the panel today. Dr. Swathi, can we start with you? I guess so, right? Just push the button.
Can everyone hear me? Oh boy. Okay. Everyone can hear me? Okay. So, you want that?
Tell everybody about you. We want to know everything about you.
So I'm Dr. Swathi Varanasi. I'm based in LA, and I was someone who was always interested. Ooh, a little bit closer. I was someone who was always interested in preventative health and what we can do to optimize our health and wellness. And so, of course, I see pharmacists out in the pharmacy, and from pharmacists, I mean you can get prescriptions, and then you can also get all the other supplements. So I pursued pharmacy thinking I would get the whole spectrum, but that did not happen. And so throughout my pharmacy career, I was always looking for opportunities to learn about more of the preventative side. And so that pretty much culminated in me finding an incredible mentor out in LA, and we started the first ever residency program for pharmacists interested in pursuing integrative health, botanical medicine, and cannabis. And so from there, I did my training at an HIV clinic, so I have quite a background in that, as well as at a natural independent pharmacy that was interprofessional. So I got to work with a lot of chiropractors and a lot of other professionals throughout my career. And since then, I've had a chance to do a lot of educational work. So I had the chance to co-write the first ever online course for pharmacists interested in learning about cannabis as medicine. And I've also had a chance to put together some other online curriculum on nutrition and superfoods and adaptogens. And I also lecture, and I'm a published researcher, so I try to do anything that seems interesting to me in terms of education and what I can do to reach more people in terms of patients, students, and healthcare practitioners.
Thanks so much. We appreciate that. Charlie, tell everybody about you. Your shoe size, we want to know everything.
Thank you for coming, everyone. My name is Charlie Piermarini, board certified physician and assistant in Arizona. I have a master's degree in physiology and public health, certified health coach as of recent. My journey to CBD and cannabis is much like my colleagues. Started in Western medicine for about 6 years. Came out practicing, ready to write prescriptions, and then started realizing there's a lot of health issues that can't be treated by treating the symptoms, and we have to dig deeper and look at root causes. I've been in pain management for almost 5 years, almost going on to 6 years. Saw a lot of patients coming into the clinic with CBD, some of them getting really good results, some of them getting very bad results, some of them testing positive for THC when the bottle clearly states no THC. It wasn't until I had a couple patients come in with some life-changing results that I started taking it very serious, and I created my own line, started my own education. I have an online education. I have a coaching company. and really trying to take this industry into the better direction, like my colleagues, because there is healing properties in cannabis and CBD. It needs to be used correctly in conjunction with lifestyle changes, and it needs to be with high quality products. So very passionate, very thankful to be here, and look forward to answering all your questions.
Thanks, Troy. I appreciate that. Dr. Lucky, you've got an interesting story. I was pretty fascinated with your story. Why don't you tell everybody how you got into the business and what you do?
Hey, my name is Dr. Thomas Lucky. I'm an internal medicine physician for 25 years. I've done holistic medicine, or what we call integrated medicine, for the past 20 years. And I've been involved in quantum physics and how to apply quantum physics to technology today that we use to improve people's health. And so we have been using quantum medicine for this 15-year interval, and we've learned a lot about how to use that and revolutionize healthcare, because that's what it's about, is revolutionizing healthcare. A lot of people ask the question, what is quantum? And it goes over their head. Well, if you just take your hand and put it over your chest, you're most likely going to place it where the heart is. That is the largest electromagnetic field on the face of the earth. And so this is what we really evaluate, is the heart. And we take molecules, CBD, and just like CBD is an entourage of effect. So we have entourage of CBD, and we have entourage of frequencies. And when we use these frequencies, then we can actually use much less CBD, like 0.5 milligrams twice a day instead of 40 milligrams twice a day, and get massive results in a very short period of time. So when I see patients, first of all, I want to know about safety, I want to know about efficacy, I want to know about the pharmacokinetics and dynamics, which most people don't want to know, because I'm a nerd, I've got to figure these things out myself. But most important is safety and the efficacy. And when you take our products, or what we promote, you have to be real careful, because if you take too much, it will throw you into a cleansing reaction. So what we are doing is combining essential oils, flowers that are essence, that have the potential of bringing people out of the past into the present, so they can deal with their circumstance. But when you do that, massive things can take place. Like if you have, for example, a cough that couldn't get rid of 20 years ago, and you take antibiotics and steroids and those type things, and then all of a sudden you take 2 drops of this and you start having that cough, it's not time to give up on the product. It's just to go through it, drink plenty of water, change your diet, and actually get out of the environment that's causing the problem in the first place. So we deal with the heart, we deal with the power of the heart, and I have a book that actually is written on that, which is the art of doing well, the art of unleashing the healing miracle within. And because healing truly begins from the heart out. And so if we can touch people's lives with the heart, because we're a lifestyle business, we're into health, we're into wellness, we're into restoration, and we're not into anything else but that. And so we have pure products, we have pure people that work in the organization from top to the bottom, and we really believe in what we believe, and we have values. And when we have value and we establish that value, we have all kinds of power to change the world, because that's what it's all about.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. A lot of passion in there, young man. Again, I'm Joe Esposito. I've been in practice, like I said, 37 years. And what we do in our office, we combine chiropractic, medicine, and nutrition. And we try to get to the cause of your healthcare problem, not just treat the symptoms. And that's where I see the trend going, and I think this panel, I think we should all hang out together for a while. That's the trend I see in healthcare, that people are getting frustrated with medicine. Medicine is getting frustrated with medicine. They don't know what to do anymore. I gave you so many injections, I can't do that anymore. I'm the only chiropractor in the state board certified in pain management. And so when patients come to us, many times they've had the injections. Maybe some of you have had injections, or you've had pain treatment, and you got stuck. The one thing that we use, one of the things we use CBD for, is it can break the pain cycle. And when you're in that pain cycle, your muscle spasm, that pulls the bones out of place. It pinches the nerves, which pulls the bones out of place, which causes pain. The CBD is able to relax the body and get the body to get into that healing cycle. then the nutrition works, then the chiropractic works, then the PAs come in, and we can do stem cells and PRP, exosomes. And so when you incorporate everything we know about health, no one doctor has all the answers. But if you treat the cause of the problem, the body is able to get well. We have 4 offices, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Our radio show, of course, is international. And Dr. Oz has the biggest TV show, we have the biggest radio show. And so it's a great way to get the message out to the public. And so that's why I appreciate all of you being here, because obviously you have an interest in getting well, and you want to learn more. Now we are going to open this up to questions, so if anybody has any questions whatsoever about their health, how they can incorporate CBD into their world, and really any general health questions, I'm not sure you're going to find a smarter group of people than these folks right here, and you have us all right now. So if you have any healthcare questions, feel free to raise your hand and we'll jump right in for you, okay? So, Dr. Swathi, what kind of patients do you see? Who would make like the ideal patient for CBD, do you think?
So I think it really depends. I think CBD can be applicable to so many people's lifestyles, but I think it just comes down to the patient and what they're looking for and their treatment goal. And so as an integrative health pharmacist, that's what's most important to me, is asking the patient what they're looking for and what their overall goal is of the treatment, and even why they're seeking CBD, why they're seeking cannabis. And so we can take it from there and work as a team to figure out what is the best protocol for them. And so with my pharmacy background, I've had the chance to really delve into all the, prescription meds and supplements and all of that. And so I know all the drug-herb interactions and drug-drug interactions that we need to know. And then of course, melding that with CBD. So I guess to answer your question, that I think almost anyone could be eligible for CBD if that's something that they're interested in. But it really just depends on each patient and what they're looking for.
I'm not sure I've met anyone smarter than pharmacists. I've known doctors, surgeons, neurosurgeons. Pharmacists, I think, are the smartest people out there because they understand how everything interacts. Many times in medical school, we don't learn the interactions. You got a pain, take this pill. Well, what if I mix it with that pill? I don't know. But the pharmacist is the one you can turn to. So if you have health questions about your medicine especially, please feel free to go to your pharmacist, because your doctor may not know that answer. The pharmacist most likely is. Okay? And Charlie, what kind of patients do you see in your practice?
I'm co-owner of a clinic in Scottsdale, and it's a combination similar to his with a chiropractor, massage, and myself. And so our ideal patients are the ones that are looking to find the root cause and to get healthier. So I've spent 6 years in regular medicine, and sometimes talking to the patients instead of talking with them, you get a lot of resistance to change. So a lot of the patients that come see me, if they're not ready, if there's a willingness to change, sometimes you just meet them where they are. But our ideal patients at our clinic are chronic pain patients, patients that have an inability to sleep, anxiety, depression, and I use a collection of not just CBD, but also other abilities to really supercharge your endocannabinoid system, right? Meditation, diet, exercise, stress reduction, omega supplementation, these type of things help your own natural endocannabinoid system work better. And because our Western lifestyle is creating our endocannabinoid system to basically burn out, and that's why you have to supplement with CBD. And if you're able to really supercharge your own body, you can get away with less product and less supplements. So.
And Sean, do you see people that have had surgeries and maybe didn't fail, or maybe didn't get the results that they were hoping, post-surgical syndromes?
Yes, so a lot of post-lumbar surgical symptoms, rod placements, knee replacements, a lot of patients that have chronic pain, chronic limb pain, neuropathic pain, diabetic peripheral neuropathy. These patients really need not just a masking agent, but they need a root cause, a lifestyle change, meditation, diet, exercise, along with CBD. A lot of patients come and they expect CBD to be this miracle pill that's going to cause all of their, it's going to give, a relief of every symptom that they have, but you have to do the work, right? And my goal as a medical professional is to meet you where you're at and help you along this journey. And using CBD as a tool is a very, very good tool, but I can give you dump truckloads of CBD, but until you help me help you with meditation, diet, lifestyle changes, there's nothing that that molecule can do. It is an amazing molecule. It has a lot of properties, but you also have to help and do the work along with that molecule too.
And Charlie, you make an excellent point, because sometimes patients come in, they expect us to solve their problems. And we can help
Right.
in many cases, but we need your help as well. We got to work together as a team. Got a question? Nicole, got some questions?
Sorry to ask you. Quick question. What do you guys think of nanotechnology, the influence that it will have in the next coming years in pain management, efficacy, and bioavailability for products? Do you think that's something that has sustainability?
Dr. Lucky, you're the internal medicine doctor. What's your thoughts on that?
About nanotechnology and the basis of nanotechnology, I think that's a very important ingredient in our overall health. I believe there's more to nanotechnology, but because we're looking at things again from the physical side of things and the physics, the quantum side of things, which is you have an atom, you have gluons, you're getting down to the root of the problem, and it's instantaneously taking place. And along with that, you have situations that people have problems with toxicity. You don't have to worry about toxicity, side effects. You don't have to worry about the pharmacodynamics of things because it's light. There's no toxic metabolites released. I like to look at things really from whether it's safe or is affected in the pharmacodynamics. And when it's safe, and you don't have to worry about anything but cleansing reactions and overall health, you have to worry about how the drug is interacting with other drugs because there's so little, because you're dealing with the emphasis of light. And light is fast and powerful. So I don't think anything can overcome the ability of light, because that's what we are, light beings. Our heart, my practice surrounds the heart, everything to do with the heart. We see patients that are very, very, very ill. They're on their last days of life. And just like Dr. Charlie was over here talking about in his practice, you've got to deal with the root cause. Everything surrounds with the root cause. When your emotions and your spiritual life is really important to be grounded. So we try to bring people in present tense so they can heal. So you get sick from the inside out, you get well from the outside in. So what I'm talking about, I said that backwards actually. So you get sick from the outside in. So we got to deal with our outside environment first. But the way we deal with it truly as at the root is the heart. So everything we do is surrounds light, quantum physics, and that's all it's about as far as we're concerned. And the CBD, which is powerful on its own. CBD, you can't beat it because it affects the neuromodulatory system. You've got the immune system, your endocrine system, the metabolism, the cognitive ability to think. It's very, very important to have all the puzzles put together, but one puzzle I believe is truly missing today is the emotional and the spiritual aspects, but we're living in tremendous fear. And we cannot live in fear or we're going to be in bad shape. So we're either going to live in fear or we're going to live in faith. So this is how we actually do things at our clinic. But we use nutrition, we use all kinds of different devices that probably are illegal, but I'm not sure. But anything, we're into scalar energy, we're into all the different forms of physics that you can imagine.
Thanks, Doc. Really good insight. And it's really interesting, like I said, with this panel, we're so diverse up here, yet we're all saying the same thing. We want to help the patient get well, but we need your help. Like Charlie was saying, it's not just one thing. Another question?
Do you know how CBD affects complement?
Did you hear it? Okay, we couldn't hear the question.
Do you know how CBD affects complement?
Affects?
Are you talking about the complement immune system? So are you talking about immunity? Like how does CBD affect immunity? That's a good question. So CBD is in. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, all right. Smile. So CBD affects immunity in a few ways. The CB2 receptors, right? Everyone's familiar with CB1, CB2. CB2 receptors are found predominantly on the immune system cells. And when you're talking about immunity, there's you don't want overactive immune system, right? That's autoimmunity. You don't want underactive immune system. That's when you get sick. You want kind of Goldilocks, right in the middle. Now, CBD has the ability to kind of tone down the immune system through the CB2 receptors, also through modulating stress responses. It's able to decrease immune system overproduction, right? And really get you into a precarious situation. And CBD there's not a lot of research around, I think, how CBD explicitly does that, unless you guys know, CB2 receptors, I've read some stuff about preferentially eradicating some immune cells that are kind of lagging. I mean, I read one paper on that, but it's a very potent anti-inflammatory, but I think the root cause of a lot of these illnesses, if you follow any functional medicine doctors, like Dr. Mark Hyman, he speaks about gut health, and he speaks about cortisol. A really good book is, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. It really speaks about cortisol, epinephrine, and the just overarching effects that this thing produces, that these molecules produce on you. And again, CBD is a complement and should be paired with lifestyle changes, diet, exercise, gut health. Because it doesn't matter how much CBD you're taking, I can't modulate your immune system if your gut, which is the largest immune system center, is not healthy. Does that help?
Another question.
Hi, everybody. The question is a two-part question, and I would just like to know what's the best way to apply CBD to your body? Is that with like oils or through capsules? And what type of diet should you pair with CBD for it to work at its best?
Okay. Dr. Swathi, best way to get it in the body? You're the pharmacist here.
So you're talking about putting it on the skin, right? Yeah, so when we're comparing lotions and balms and all the different ways that we can put it on the skin, the way that CBD actually is as a compound is that it's lipophilic, is like the fancy term, but it's an oily compound, and so something like a balm has better penetration into the skin with CBD in it, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, physically, so the body taking it orally, what can it help with your joints, your cancer and diseases, but what's the best way to help cure your body with CBD by diet and how to apply it? That's what I'm sorry.
I can handle diet. I'm pretty good at that. Of course, animal proteins are the big problem that I find, and especially when I was a kid, we didn't have to worry about steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, herbicides, genetically modified food, glyphosate. And these things are still on the market today. I mean, you know that glyphosate causes cancer. There's no question about that. And yet people are still spraying on their lawn right now to kill their weeds. So when it comes to health issues, we find that the healthiest diet there is you got to go more plant-based. The more fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds you eat, the better off you're going to be. If you are going to do animal proteins, and that would be meat, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream, if you're going to animal proteins, I recommend organic only. If it's not organic, you have no idea what those animals have eaten. And so they're putting those chemicals into the food they're feeding the animals are now eating that food, you're eating the animal. So there's a lot of research out there now. There's research now on palmitic acid coming from animal proteins, and that's the reason why people have metastasis of cancers. That's the thing that stimulates the cell receptors that cause the metastasis. So the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the better you're going to be. And here's a tip I give all my patients. Every meal, I want you to have something raw. Raw food has something in it called enzymes. Enzymes are the secret nutrient that nobody talks about. It's anti-aging. It's the reason you're alive. All of us here are just a stack of chemicals. If we took all the chemicals out of our bodies, we'd just be a little sack sitting here. The enzymes are the things that make the chemicals come alive. So I do recommend something raw at every meal. Broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, guacamole, salad, fruit. If you do just that, you'd be amazed how much better your health is going to be. And that's an anti-inflammatory diet. And like the experts were saying, anti-inflammatory along with the CBD is going to get you a much better result. Great question.
So to kind of go along with what you were saying, are you looking at absorption of different products, like which one is going to be absorbed higher? Is that where you're kind of going at? Best types? Yeah, so that's kind of patient by patient base, right? And so topicals do get absorbed, their skin's the largest organ. So I've seen patients come into my clinic that have a THC-based cream, and it does show up in their urine, so you do absorb it. Tinctures are by far what I use the most for my patients for sublingual absorption. I'm not, smoking inhalation is the by far the highest absorption, quickest onset. I'm not a proponent of having my patients smoke. It's more of an ethical thing, but tinctures are by far they're easier to dose, higher efficacy, and my tinctures, I know what doses are working for my tinctures, but topical and tinctures are usually where I'm in. I have edibles too, but I think going back to what you're saying, diet and exercise-wise, so the endocannabinoid system are made out of, our own endocannabinoids are made out of metabolism of omega fatty acids, omega-3s. So those are very anti-inflammatory. They should be high in your diet. A lot of us are deficient in this because we are not eating good animal proteins, right? Good fish. And so supplementing with a good omega can help. Obviously check with your medical provider, but I think myself, I'm on a very high level omega supplement, helping supercharge anti-inflammatory, supercharging the endocannabinoid system to work better, along with CBD. I don't know if that answers your question.
And then I also wanted to add something too, so we were talking a little bit about diet and CBD, but also I think it's important to talk about exercise and movement. And so it's kind of one of my favorite things about the endocannabinoid system. It impacts so many different organ systems and so many different neurotransmitter systems. And one of those is actually we synthesize our own cannabinoids. And so one of them in particular is called anandamide, and that one has been shown to bind to the CB1 receptor. And so through that, if you're exercising and you have movement involved in your daily schedule, that could be literally walking 20 minutes, or it could be a HIIT workout, and this depends on what you're into. If you have that involved, that really helps modulate what's called endocannabinoid tone, and that really just means the overall functionality and how well your endocannabinoid system is working for you. So I'd also recommend that.
Yeah.
Remember, more is not always better. Okay, in our world there's a thing called hormesis. You kind of hit a peak and then it actually gets worse. So it's a good idea to titrate, find out what works best for you. And what might work best for you may not work best for Dr. Lucky. So you got to figure out your own. So this is a kind of a new world. And as a pharmacist, not everybody responds to the same dose.
Yeah.
Same thing with this. Another question?
This is directed mostly towards Dr. Lucky, because I like physical chemistry, or I'm a physical chemist right now, so
Okay.
I was just wondering if y'all had any good models for the mechanisms, how it binds with CB1, CB2, or if it goes to the 1H2A, the serotonin receptors at all. And if y'all modeled that computationally or anything like that. Because you were talking a lot about the quantum side and how the mechanism works.
Right. I believe I understand your question. I'm not exactly sure because you can't really hear much of anything up here. But as far as you said, you were biochemical, physical chemistry. Yeah. Well, we're one step as far as quantum from physical. It's all compared to. What you don't see is more important than what you do see in life. There's more power in a black hole in the empty spaces than what we see conventionally. And so when we're using quantum-based kinetics, things are, like I said, instantaneous. It's like, for example, I have broke my back in 3 places.